Let's go. Here it is. Whoa. Okay. Just walk through here. Okay. Let's open it up. I'm going away around next week or the week after, and I was looking for a travel bass, and I've played their U basses before. I've got some music friends who actually play some of their U basses. Little ukulele strap, vegan, eco-friendly as well. Ready? Little mini case. Look at that, look how small it is. So yeah, this is really the reason why I wanted to get this one. Just because, I mean, you could take that on as hand luggage. It's a tiny, tiny little one. I've always had issues with, I think every musician's had issues with airlines before. Should you open it up? Okay, ready? Okay, that's my, I mean, I've got small hands, but that's my hand. There we go. Feels really good. Super light. No, it feels really good. The string tension's really nice. Like, the strings were really loose, so you kind of have this, like, it feels more like a normal size bass. I mean, you could take this and do a full gig on this. It would look funny, but really nice. You could put this in a suitcase, couldn't you, in a large suitcase? I really like this that comes with it. I mean, I think you can put some stuff inside it, but really it's just a way of like giving the neck some support. I mean, normally what I actually do when I travel with the bass is I pack it out with like underwear and clothes and stuff around here to give it some more support. One other thing I actually do as well is I loosen the strings a bit to give some neck relief. The actual neck is quite sturdy, so if anyone kind of goes on it, it can break. Okay, let's go and set it up.
Alright, so taking it out of the box, I've tuned it up, and you're probably curious to hear what it actually sounds like. Now, I've just played a couple of notes and it surprised me for how small it is and how big the sound is. I'm going to demonstrate some different sounds we can get from this. I mean, it's just a very simple P bass setup with a volume and a tone. Whenever I play a P bass, I just leave the volume 100% all the time. And then I just adjust the gain on the audio interface. And as far as tone, I'm going to do it in 3 settings. I'll play the same riff and I'll play with all the tone rolled off first, and then I'll go 50% on the tone, and then I'll go 100% and turn the tone all the way up, so you can hear some of the different sounds you can get from this bass. So my first thoughts about this bass is the sound is phenomenal. I mean, I'm having to change my technique a little bit, but as far as the sound, it's probably the best sound I've managed to get from one of these little basses, so really happy with that. Sounds really nice, and I'm kind of used to a P-bass type bass, so I really like the sound of it. It sounds really fat compared to how small it is. But as far as the technique, this is the interesting thing, is like a riff like I just played. It's using like a pentatonic shape, which just means I'm using like lots of box type shapes on the fingerboard. And when I play those types of shapes on a normal scale length, like a normal Fender bass like back here, I'm used to playing more of a Simandl technique in the fretting hand. So to play that, I'd play more of like a 1-4 and and use the second finger as well, right? So more of this kind of thing. But with this bass, because the frets are so close together, it feels a bit weird to do that because my hands are so like bunched up. So maybe I'll be more inclined to do more of a 1 finger per fret when playing this bass. Yeah, so I'm having to be aware of that, like changing the technique just a little bit. I'm kind of keeping it the same, but I am aware that the fret spacing, I'm just having to get used to it. But as far as the sound, I love the sound. It's just more of a technique thing and just getting used to, playing the bass really.
All right, so I'm going to start packing for Greece. I've got the U-bass, got the case, and I've got this long suitcase that I'm going to stick the U-bass in. It just fits, the actual length of the U-bass fits in just a longer suitcase. So the first thing I do is just loosen the strings for each string so there is the right amount of tension. Because if it's in tune, if there's any weight put on the neck, it's more likely to break the truss rod, which goes down the middle of the neck. So I loosen all my strings so they're still on the bass, but they're just detuned. So I'll do that. And then I'll stick it in the case. But as I put it in the case, what I'm also going to do is I could use bubble wrap, or I could use some like clothes, and I'm actually going to stuff the bass like inside with like clothes. So I'm going to put clothes in here and clothes around here just to give it a little bit more protection. Now I've put the bass in the case with some clothes to pad it out. I'm going to now put this case inside my suitcase. And then as you can see, fits perfectly. And then I'll just put all my other pieces of luggage in there, zip this up, and then I'm actually just going to put that through the hold. Now, when I get to the airport, I usually ask when checking in if I can put this case through the special luggage. It's normally like oversized luggage or special luggage. I don't know, it's got different names at different airports. And I usually put it through there. All that means is that it's just going to get taken care of a little bit better than if you just put it through the generic kind of check-in process. The oversized luggage section is also where people put through bikes, golf clubs, surfboards, maybe even. So it just gets taken care of a little bit more, and it usually doesn't cost anything extra to just ask to put your suitcase with your bass in it through the oversized luggage section.
Alright, I'm just going to show you the kind of gear I take with me when I'm traveling to get kind of professional sounding quality, even with a very small suitcase and not much gear. So I have my bass down here. This is obviously the new edition, this U-bass here, so I'm going to plug that in a sec. But what I take usually with me when I travel, and I still want to be able to do bass recordings and other things like I'm just about to give some feedback to my students inside the Bass Mastermind community. I obviously take my laptop, and the biggest thing that really I want to get across is to bring an audio interface, something like this. Now this is actually quite a big one, to be honest, and this is the one I'm currently using. I kind of like it because there's a few other settings that other audio interfaces don't have. It's very visual and it sounds really nice. So this is the one I'm currently using. I used to use a Focusrite, a Scarlett Focusrite, for many years, and to be honest, the only reason why I got this one was just because it's got built-in compression and a nice vintage mode here that you can press to make everything a little bit warmer. So I like this quite a lot. So what I do, as you can see, I have my jack cable where I plug in my bass. So plug that in there. Then I also bring a tiny little XLR. So this is actually just a small XLR, and this will be for the mic. Now the mic, what I'm going to be speaking into is this Shure here. So I've actually taken it off the stand. This is the one I usually use in a lot of my videos up to this point, and I'll be plugging that in as well. So I'll just quickly do that. So once everything's plugged into the audio interface, I'll show you what that looks like now. So here's the audio interface. I've got the bass as a jack lead here, I've got the mic as an XLR, and then out the back there's a USB-C on this particular one. Usually these audio interfaces have a USB, just a standard USB, which looks like this. And the problem with Apple is they changed their port, so I don't actually have a USB on my laptop, so that's where I bring this in, which is actually quite useful because it also has an SD card, so I can film stuff on my camera. So obviously I bring my camera as well. So I'll plug this in, and then I'll plug in the audio interface, which is this, into here with the adapter. And then I'll plug that into the laptop, and then I'll show you what it looks like on my computer. Also, these are very important when traveling, of course. So this is a UK plug, and I'm in Greece at the moment, so their plugs look completely different, so I need an adapter as well. So here's everything set up. I've got the bass plugged in, I've got everything plugged in. So let me show you a quick overview of what I got here, and then we'll dive into the laptop and I'll show you the settings I've got as far as the DAW I'm using and everything like that. All right, so I couldn't find anything for my mic, so I just found something from the kitchen that I could use, as I didn't bring a mic stand. And I also, one thing I actually forgot is my headphones, which usually plug in there. So I'm just gonna have to use the speakers from the laptop, which is not really ideal. So I've got the bass plugged in input 1, I've got the mic in input 2, bass is down there, all plugged in, and I've got what's called Logic up on my laptop. Let's dive into my laptop and I'll show you how it all works. All right, so I've got the mic plugged in, I've got Logic up on the screen, and I've got my bass plugged in as well. So I'm going to show you some of the settings that you need to do if you want to use Logic. Now, if you're an Apple user, you can also download GarageBand, which is like a free version of this software, recording software that I'm using, or you can use Pro Tools as well if you're a Windows user. Pro Tools have a free version, I think, as well, if you go on their website. So here I actually have a template. I call this the bass cover template. I actually just added an extra audio, but usually it looks like this. So I have a pre-built template with a few little EQ settings and things like that. So what I need to do first though is set up the audio channel. So if I have like a backing track or some audio stuff that I'm playing with, I'll put that in, I'll drop that in there. But I actually just want to record my voice and my bass. So I'll go to preferences, and here at the moment I'm just gonna have to use the MacBook Pro speakers as I haven't got headphones in. But the input device, I need to select the audio interface that you're using. So that's on the input device, and so that looks all good. Now the only thing, I'm just gonna actually delete these channels and create new ones. So I'll create a new one. Let's go here. Okay, so input 1 on my audio interface is the bass. So that's input 1. So then let's name this bass. And then I'm gonna add a new channel. Input 2 is my voice. Cool. So I've got the voice, as you can see, hello, it's going up and down. And then if I want to hear the bass, now the bass is going to sound really bad through the laptop speakers. So I'm going to see if anyone's got any headphones that I can just borrow. Even just some Apple headphones would be better than these speakers here. And then if I want to hear my voice, I'll just click I here. I might get some feedback though, because I'm recording some different things. But here, if I want to record, I'll go to here and hit record. And I can record my voice. As you can see, I'm recording the audio waves here. And then my bass. And that's the bass in there. So this is how I would record my bass if I needed to record something while I'm away. And I'm definitely going to be taking this with me on future travels because it was so easy to pack. So I'll just put it in here, and then I'll do another audio file, just no input, and I drag like an MP3 or something into here, and this can be like track. So that's what I'll be using if I'm recording away from home. Hey Carlos, so the short answer to your question is yes. Because it's the same shape, you would use the same barring technique. One thing though, when you did your barring technique here, let's have a look. Oh, I'm just going to pause it there. So what I would do is try and keep your finger, this first finger, try and not let it fly off too much. Let me go through the shape again for you here. So let's just go to the G minor. I'm doing it on a smaller bass. So it's more, instead of like my finger kind of coming up, it's more keeping it as flat as you can to the fretboard. What I may actually encourage you to do is just, I've got this part of my finger here on the bottom note here on the G, like that. So that's the shape I'm currently doing here. Then all I do is just flatten it like that. That's the movement. It's not too much. I'm moving the first finger slightly.
and just use this as a technique exercise. So try it and see, and let me know if it helps. Thanks for checking out this video. If you'd like some help with your bass playing, feel free to go to studywithjazz.com. That's jazz with one Z. The link will also be in the description, and you can apply anywhere on the page. Click here to check out more videos just like this one, and I'll see you soon.